I thought you're gonna give me an easy question. That's not an easy question. I can think off the top of my head of maybe 6 different limitations, and they vary. There's a set of limitations when it comes to A/B testing that are just due to the nature of the beast. Conversion optimization, by its nature, is very focused on revenue, improving revenue through improving conversion rates, through improving lifetime value, improving revenue per visitor. Sometimes, when you're running A/B testing, you lose track of the big picture. That could be problematic. Sometimes a CRO team are doing things that don't align with the brand. The goal is not always to increase revenue. Yes, it is very critical, but really we need to make sure that what we're doing aligns with the brand and the direction that the business is going with. So losing track of that big picture becomes a problem. So that's when CRO goes against branding. And I think we've talked about that. Sometimes a CRO program causes issues for the users that are difficult to measure. A perfect example of that is the pop-ups that you see on every website that you go to. These pop-ups are annoying. 99% of visitors to any website don't interact with these pop-ups. They hate them. But we have no real meaningful way of measuring the impact or the annoyance of visitors who look at those pop-ups and close them. We know that they generate 1% conversion, which is good, but there's this other side that we cannot measure. So that's another problem and a limitation of an A/B testing program where you lose track of the big picture. Another thing that you want to think about is the type of statistics you're using in a CRO program, how those might limit you, and how do you actually make sure that you are collecting the right number of visitors in A/B test. Do you have enough conversions to actually run A/B testing or not? Those are very critical questions that you need to be very upfront about so you understand what you're walking into. Another limitation of an A/B testing program is that there are certain things that A/B testing and experimentation is really good at measuring. There are certain things that are difficult to measure. Almost every e-commerce website I talk to, they're fascinated and they want to do price testing. Price testing is very difficult because it's very complex. It's not easy to do price testing. It's easy in theory, difficult in practice. Most A/B testing software out there, as far as I know, doesn't do price testing. So you got to be careful. If that's very critical for you, that's difficult. Let's take even the other case where A/B testing does not measure even the lifetime value for a customer, because A/B testing is very focused on the conversion right now. So that's something that you want to think about. Another thing is sometimes when people launch very complex experiments, 2 different variations, and they've changed a million things in those variations, you're not going to have meaningful learnings. When you change too many different elements in a test, or you're testing 2 different things that are just so different. That's one of the reasons that we don't do multivariate testing anymore. You take a multivariate test, 3 different elements with 4 or 5 different variations for elements, and you end up with 100 different variations. You have a winner, but you cannot really do post-test analysis. You can do real learning. I mean, you might be winging it, but that's not a way to run a conversion optimization program. Going back to this point, are you trying to optimize something that you have, or are you starting from scratch? What do I mean by that? I have a website, it's not doing really well. Do I come in and I say, let's optimize this page and learn? Or do I just say, let's just kill this page completely, start from scratch, and here's our new baseline? That is more of a business question than an optimization question. And you have to understand that experimentation, A/B testing is best used as an optimization tool. There are still business decisions that executives and business owners have to make. Sometimes I see business owners, they hire a copywriter and they're like, oh yeah, can you really make our value proposition clear? And the copywriter looks at them and says, okay, so what's your value proposition? I don't know. No, a copywriter is not going to tell you what your value prop is. You need to answer that question. A copywriter is going to be able to express it in a meaningful way that resonates with your audience. They're there as copywriters. They're not there as people who are going to answer deep critical business questions.